Mueller. We're here to get a couple of walk doors for our building. Excited time.
Last piece of framing going up.
Yeah. Success. Come on, you can do this piece. John, yes. Hello everyone, this is Jeff and Lorena with Back to Country, and today is a beautiful day to keep working.
Yep, we're back at it. So we had to take a little break, mainly because of weather. I mean, we had bad storm roll through, brought tornadoes and everything else. We were lucky that we didn't get hit or anything. I think the closest tornado on the ground was probably came within 20 miles of us. Anyway, but with that brought heavy winds and torrential rains. So we got about 3.5 inches of rain in that storm, and then we had another storm that came through, gave us another 1.5 inches of rain. And you know, in East Texas, when it rains, it pours and it comes pretty quick, so that always causes erosion. And in this case, we had a lot of damage to our road. Of course, the road, or the ramp coming off of this pad, was always meant to be temporary. We just needed to get something up and get some rock on it and have it good enough that we could get trucks and everything up here, and it served its purpose. But we've tried not to finish it out until we're done with this build, because priorities, right? So we had to shift a little priority. The washouts were just getting too big, and we had a what do they call it, cut ledge, cut out, whatever, where the water was sweeping back and cutting out the dirt, actually underneath, cutting underneath the road. So we had a few dangerous spots that, I mean, it was fine to drive up if you knew where to drive, but if you didn't and you came and got too close to the edge, that could have been a disaster. So we just couldn't leave that. So, you know, we got started on the road, and of course then we had other issues. If you watched our other videos, you saw we rolled the tractor, got everything stuck in the mud, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. But we're past that now, and we started getting back to the building. Luckily, we needed a little help. Remember, we don't do construction. This is our very first building ever, and so we've done a pretty good job of figuring that out thus far. I'm sure it's taken us a lot longer than it takes the pros. You know, we got a lot of common sense and we can figure things out, but when it comes to experience, we don't have any, so that slows you down. But anyway, we've got this building all framed up and up. We had a couple of end wall columns, and one of the doors jams was just giving us a heck of a time trying to get it to plumb up. They were just not coming straight the way we wanted them, and we made all the adjustments we could figure out, and it still just wasn't coming together. So we had to call in some professional help. Luckily, we got a friend that actually puts these things up for a living, and I gave him a call and asked him to come by and check our work and give some advice. So he did, and yeah, he said everything was great, except the things that I knew were not, and he showed me how to fix them. And basically what it was is, well, I'll kind of show you here. Let's take a walk and look. So on this end wall here, we got this 8-inch purlin that makes an end wall column, and another one over there, and both of those were leaning one way or another, and they were also leaning out a little bit, and we just, you know, adjusted them as far as we could adjust them with the spacing on the bolts and what little bit of play it gives you there, which is, you know, about 1/8 of an inch. And they still weren't coming into plumb, and so we you know, needed that advice. And what we found out is that all of these cable braces, so you can see we've got cable brace over there, and all along the top over there, that those cable braces work really well to pull your building into plumb. So basically, if you needed to come in, which we did, then the cable brace that points at the column where you need to move seemed to be the one that needed adjusted. So yesterday we went up and adjusted cable braces, and everything came into plumb. And the other one we had was the door jamb down here on the end, on this well, near the end wall, not on the end wall. That door jamb wasn't plumbing up either, and if I remember correctly, it was also leaning out a little bit. And believe it or not, by doing a little bit of tweaking on the cable bracing right there on the end wall, we were able to pull it in, and everything plumbed up. And when we went and checked all the other columns in the wall, everything was good. And so now we are content with where we're at. Everything seems to be plumb and level the way we need it. And so as far as that's concerned, the building is ready for 10. But before we can do that, we still had some more pieces to put in. So this steel here, angle steel, it's 4-inch on one side and about 2 inches on the other side, and these go along the outside. So this is called angle bracing, and this will attach to the concrete. And so that's basically, you've got this tin ledge here, so the steel wall or the tin wall comes down on the outside of the concrete there, and there'll be some trim that goes over that as well. But without this angle bracing, you don't have any place to screw it to at the bottom. So that's what you got to do. You got to put this angle bracing, attach it to the concrete to create a screw ledge there, or, you know, if you're thinking in terms of wood framing, it would be a nailer. But in this case, we use screws. So that's a angle brace that is basically a edge to screw your tin to on the bottom. So the first thing we did is the spacing on your concrete anchors is recommended on this one at 2 inches from the ends. So we go, that's a 4-inch deal. We center it at 2 inches in, and then we come 2 inches from the end and we put a mark there, and that is where our first anchor will go, and then 20 inches every anchor after that. So 2 inches from each end, 20-inch spacing on centers, and yeah, that's where those anchors, and if you're wondering what kind of anchors we're using, these are called hammer sets. We got them at Home Depot. They're 1/4 inch by 2 inch. They sell them at Lowe's as well. And basically you drill a 1/4 inch hole into your concrete and a 1/4 inch hole through your steel, and then you tap that down into the concrete, and there's a nail in it, and you hammer that in, and that causes it to expand and anchor down into the hole. So that's what we're using to anchor these down to the concrete. Before we do that, we've got to drill holes through the steel. So I created a makeshift drill press here. Basically what I did, I just had a piece of steel laying around, and so I had to cut a hole in that piece of steel. That is hardened steel. This came off my bulldozer. It was an old rub plate, and so that's hardened steel. I tried to drill it first, and yeah, that wasn't happening. My angular cutters for this thing would not cut this stuff. It is super hardened steel. So I ended up getting out the cutting torch, and we knocked that hole through it. So basically now this works just like a drill press. I can drop that drill right on through. I've got it set so that's as far as it goes. It won't go down and hit the concrete, but it will drop into that hole, so I get all the way through my steel. And of course the magnet's turned on, so that more than holds that piece of steel on there. And that's my makeshift portable drill press that we're going to use to drill these holes in this steel. Now this is only like 14 or 16, I think it's 16 gauge steel, so it's not heavy duty steel, but it'll be a lot easier to slide that thing along and drill those holes than to do it with a hand drill. But then we've got the hand drill with a 1/4 inch concrete bit on there, and we'll use that to drill into the concrete, and we'll use the vacuum to suck up the concrete dust. And we'll use a speed square. Basically we want this right along the concrete edge, so we'll use our speed square to get those edges pretty close, and yeah, that should do it. So that's what we're doing this morning. Stick with us, see how it goes. one, I gotta wait a minute because I gotta put another piece going the other direction.
Oh.
I'm gonna need a
Screwdriver?
screwdriver or something to pop that out.